We just got injury updates on some key Eagles, but the bigger news revealed today is how Howie pulled off yet another great move. Plus, Cooper DeJean flashed in more ways than we realized, and why Bryce Huff might finally be finding his stride. Oh, we might now know what Sirianni was yelling about to the fans. I'm Thomas Mott. This is The Thomas Mott Show. Well, the media is obviously still talking about Nick Sirianni now 2 days after the Eagles' much-needed win against the Browns. There's a lot more important things going on today, starting with the injury updates. First, let's start with Darius, who left in the second half with a knee injury and is now considered day-to-day and escaped any sort of serious issue. Credit to Isaiah Rodgers as well, who I thought was pretty solid filling in for Slay, but it does sound like the best injury news this morning has to do with the Birds' cornerback. Now, the worst news today is for Jordan Mailata, as John Clark confirmed he will, quote, miss a few games with that hamstring injury. It seemed pretty apparent when he was gingerly walking off the field here, as you see on your screen, in crutches, the leg is wrapped. Obviously a major blow, as Jordan Mailata also has been the highest graded pass blocker in the entire NFL this year, but now it looks like Fred Johnson will probably fill in, as he did pretty admirably on short notice against the Saints and Browns, but that lone start he had against the Bucs was not that great. He had 2 sacks and gave up 11 pressures filling in for Lane Johnson. Oh, and the Giants lead the league in sacks this year. That's who you play on Sunday, so Fred Johnson's gotta get settled down big time at the left tackle spot, which is obviously something Kellen Moore emphasized during his press conference earlier this morning.
Yeah, obviously these guys have done an excellent job of getting after the quarterback, and so it's something we got to be aware of. I think this is a really, really sound defense. They're sound in their coverage plans. They let the front four rush. They blitz you just enough to keep you honest and have to handle all the different variables. And so this will be a big challenge for us. They've done an excellent job. Jordan's obviously been playing some really, really good football. We're fortunate to have Fred here and the different type of guys that we can put in there, however this thing plays out. And guys, New Orleans was a great example. When we needed guys to step up, they stepped up. Fred stepped up phenomenally on Sunday. Even at the last play, he's one-on-one in 95, and there was a risk component associated with that, and he did an excellent job.
Also, very quickly, on yesterday's show, I'm giving away this Kelly Green Nike sweater. Bought one myself. It's getting cold. It's fantastic. To enter, go to my pinned comment, check out yesterday's video, drop a comment as well, and we'll announce that winner later on this week. Now, the final injury update is really not an update as of yet. Dallas Godert has a hamstring issue. Sirianni told reporters they are still evaluating it. I've heard he might be day-to-day. We don't know the severity, but I guess credit to Grant Calcaterra, who was really good catching the football on Sunday, but Goddard's blocking ability, especially if he misses time, will be very much missed. Now, the other big headline today happened outside of Philadelphia, but still impacts the Eagles, as the Jets have officially traded for star wide receiver Davante Adams for a conditional third-round draft pick. This comes a day after Haason Reddick not only switched agents to the legendary Drew Rosenhaus, but now, according to Diana Rossini, has been granted a short window to seek a trade as well. And it's likely Reddick's going to get moved sooner rather than later, with the Adams kind of domino already falling, but it is worth noting, we said this last week, Reddick cannot be traded to the Eagles per the NFL rules. However, we did just find out that Howie Roseman actually snuck a clause into the original Reddick trade back to the Jets that would elevate the conditional third-round draft pick to a second-rounder coming back to Philadelphia if Reddick is, in the next couple of days, eventually traded to an NFC team. And with Aiden Hutchinson's brutal leg injury versus the Cowboys, I think Detroit is definitely a team that's probably making a call to New York for Haason Reddick. So if Reddick does come to the NFC in a couple of days, the Eagles will get a second-round draft pick instead of a third. Again, Howie working his magic, thumbs up for that. Now, for all the drama yesterday, there was a ton of good, like Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell only allowing 2 catches on 7 targets combined for a grand total of 24 yards and a passer rating of 56.2. DeJean himself, honestly, he was all over the field, making tackles, creating multiple sacks, and seemingly very much ready for his massive role increase in a big way, as illustrated here by Brian Baldinger yesterday.
For the second time this season, the Eagles' opponent couldn't find the end zone. Cleveland's offense shut out of the end zone. Here, Moro Jomo comes in this screen setup, and here comes Cooper DeJean, starting his first game, getting his first sack, getting Deshaun Watson down to the ground, sack. But he showed a great ability to be in coverage and to be aggressive to the ball when it didn't come his way. Like right here, you plaster the receiver, and then Deshaun Watson comes, you get him out of bounds. Like you just watch him in coverage right here, and here he is, aggressive to the ball. Six tackles on the game, defended a few passes. You just watch him right here, and here he is. Like in the slot, played 90% of the snaps. New slot defender right here, first NFL start. All right, zone coverage in the hook curl range right there. Gets Amari Cooper down. And then this, one of the biggest plays of the game. Cleveland trying to tie it up late in the fourth quarter right here. Trying to run this drag right here to Elijah Moore, and Cooper DeJean keeps him out of the end zone. All right? And then you get this. Look, I mean, Jerry Jeudy can flat out run. Can you run with him on a spray fade? It's just you and him down the field. Can't cover it any better. I thought it was a solid debut for Cooper DeJean. Maybe the new slot defender for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Likewise, the defensive line probably had their best day, as Carter, Davis, and even Nolan Smith graded very well for Week 6. But also, you got to give credit to Bryce Huff, who had 2 hands in the ground at times and had his best day as an Eagle as well. Something Vic Fangio said was good to see, but will be limited going forward, according to his press conference a couple of hours ago.
Possibly on some of the third downs.
And do you think that is a better way for him to take off?
Well, he thinks that, but you can do that on third down and long, obvious pass, doesn't help you in the run, first, second down.
Right. Was there concerted effort though, just to kind of give him more kind of ability to do something that he feels comfortable doing, or? Yeah,
he's had that. He's had the ability to do that. An obvious pass.
Also great was obviously Jalen Hurts, who I thought did a great job spreading the ball around. We mentioned Calcaterra earlier, but Jahan Dotson got way more involved than usual. He was also fantastic against the blitz yet again, and now sits at a 64% completion percentage against the blitz with 4 touchdowns and just 1 interception, which included his audible at the line when seeing a blitz look in front of man coverage for the Smitty mesh route touchdown, as illustrated here by PHOY's Fran Duffy.
All right, so this is another play where Jalen audibles at the line of scrimmage. You could see it on the TV copy, but he comes up to the line, he changes it to this mesh concept. He reads that it's going to be man coverage, and he's right. The Eagles get man-to-man coverage here, and they dial up this mesh concept. It's a perfect call, and one of the reasons why I like this version of mesh, we are used to the mesh concept where you have that sit route over the ball, and it's a good answer for the quarterback against zone, just in case the quarterback does see zone coverage at the snap of the ball. But here, with the Eagles releasing Grant Calcaterra up the seam to attack that safety, that prevents the safety from trying to jump the crosser and help out that corner that's playing in trail behind Devontae Smith. So with Calcaterra working up the seam, that holds Rodney McLeod in the middle of the field. The corner's picked off by Jack Stoll, who does an outstanding job there on that play, and then Devontae's home free. Really good execution. Nice call by Jalen Hurts at the line of scrimmage.
Hurts, of course, also audibled into that deep shot to A.J. Brown to seal the game in a play that seemingly thoroughly impressed his offensive coordinator.
Yeah, obviously, we talked through the process of that during the timeout, and we obviously talked through it to the point that we felt very comfortable with it based off the look of the defense and the opportunity that it presented. They made the adjustment that we had talked about, and obviously there's a lower percentage, but AJ one-on-one felt like a very comfortable opportunity there. He made a phenomenal play. Jalen made a nice throw to it. And, it was a big play by those two guys.
Honestly, the main bad from Sunday didn't really happen on the field, unless you take, of course, the blocked field goal as a bad, which honestly it really was. But obviously the focus in terms of not good was Nick Sirianni. Although today we have a Reddit post from a unknown Philadelphia fan who says he was the person Nick Sirianni was yelling at, although emphasized it was all in a jokingly fun manner. And really the result of a fan telling Sirianni early in the game to run the football, and then Sirianni barking back after they won. Now, of course, it's a random fan on Reddit, so who knows if he's telling the truth or not, but still, it doesn't take away from the fact that I still think it was a pretty bad look for the head coach. Although if you like apologies, Sirianni technically did do that during his press conference today, which, give him a little bit of credit here.
I would say this about that. What I was really doing, I was trying to bring energy yesterday, enthusiasm yesterday. And I'm sorry and disappointed on how my energy was directed at the end of the game. And, my energy should be all in on coaching, motivating, right, and celebrating with our guys. And so, that's, and I got to have better wisdom and discernment of when to use that energy, and that wasn't the time.
Also, we got more information on that defensive play call that Sirianni claimed he made yesterday in some wild fashion here. Although Vic Fangio, I think he explained the truth behind it in that Sirianni didn't actually call a play. He was more hinting at what the offense could do, just kind of reminding Fangio. Listen to this exchange.
It wasn't a defensive call. It was just a situation thing to where he just said, hey, be alert for this. He didn't call it defense.
So what was the situation then that he?
It was just when they had the ball near midfield and, it was 3rd and long. He said, hey, be alert that they may check it down or something. They're trying to get in field goal range. more.
He said
How does
that
his
he
level
said that
of
he made the wrong
involvement
call on that.
in the defensive?
Only one guy can talk at once. I'm sorry.
How does his level of involvement in what you're doing on game day compare to other head coaches you've worked for?
It's pretty similar.
He said that he made the wrong suggestion, I guess, on that play. What happened on that 3rd and long?
They ended up getting more than I would have liked to have seen them get, but it was inconsequential what he said.
All in all, I'm ready to move on, but I'll just continue to say I do think it was a bad look. Especially like 2 weeks ago when your head coach is trying to stop Jalen Carter from being too emotional during the Saints win, and yet turns around and does something very similar in his lackluster performance versus the Browns. Also, can we stop comparing this clip of Howie Roseman jawing one time with a fan as some sort of excuse as to why Nick Sirianni also does it? Like, this does not give Nick Sirianni the right to act like a child after a, again, good, but not super impressive 4-point win versus the Browns. Hopefully, though, we can all learn from this and move on. As I've said multiple times the past couple of days, Philadelphia has a chance to go on a run right now. And as I just showed you, the defense played much better, I know, against the Cleveland Browns, but also Jalen Hurts, no turnovers, the receivers back in action. The injury news, not great, but it's not like Mailata's done for the season. There's a chance to go on a run. You play the Giants coming up, not a great offense, good chance for your offense to showcase versus their good defense. And then, of course, the Bengals and the Jaguars and the Cowboys, all very winnable football games. So I'm buying back in. I'm still hesitant. I don't think this is a Super Bowl caliber team at the moment, but if they win the next 4 games, are you going to buy back in as well? Let me know down below in the comment section. And of course, stay tuned as we'll cover everything happening with the Birds over the next couple of days and weeks. I'm Thomas Mott hanging out on a Tuesday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.